Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Joy of Puzzles. I have for you today a puzzle titled Magician's Study. It was published in 2020 by Ravensburger. Ravensburger's been around since 1883. They were originally founded in Germany, where they released their first board game in 1884. For the next 3 generations of ownership, they focused on educational publications and games. They didn't produce their first jigsaw puzzle until the 60s. They are currently a $60 million company with over 2,000 employees located around the world, most of which are in Europe. And while they don't have the largest puzzle in the world in their inventory, they certainly carry 2 of the largest that are commercially published. I mean, they're bigger puzzles, but they're kind of one-offs. Yep, these folks have 2 puzzles in their website, 40,000 pieces, 22.5 feet by 6.5 feet in size. Someday, I'll build one. The artist for this puzzle is Ciro Marchetti. I'm sure I said the first name incorrectly, but oh well. The image was created in 2018. A little bit about the artist. After graduating college from the Croydon College of Art in England in the mid-70s, he's worked around the globe. In one of his stints in South America, he gave seminars on branding to marketing and corporations for, their public domain, and that included companies like American Express, 3M, Nabisco. And while there, he was a part-time member of the Caracas, Venezuela school teaching graphic arts. Currently is down in Florida, and he's teaching at Fort Lauderdale Art Institute and gives courses in advanced Photoshop and digital imagery. Looking at his websites, he has quite the collection. Apparently he's also well known for his tarot cards. I tossed in a couple links, one specifically for puzzles that he sells, and another one with his full biography, and the third one with illustrations and artwork that he has. They're quite nice, honestly. I can see why these are popular, and probably will chase down a couple more of them. Strategy. Let's talk about how we built the puzzle. We started with the border, as things usually go, and then we went after the couple bright colors that are in there. There was some purple, red, pink, and green that kind of stood out from the brown and dark background colors. At the same time, the stained glass yellow window kept drawing our eye, so those pieces got pulled as well early in the process, along with the blue bird, maybe it's a raven, I don't know, at the top center of the puzzle. The challenge here is that there's a lot of brown, right? And a lot of things, but the geometry really helped. So when we had finished the obvious, bright, distinct colors, it was the geometric lines from the background images and the various mechanisms that are designed here that kind of built the foundation for building the rest of the puzzle. There are a couple brightly colored orbs, we'll call them globes, and glass jars and things of that nature that drew our eye. But yeah, the strategy kind of falls to the wayside at a point. You hit this moment when you have built all the obvious things. Luckily, the pieces and the image are detailed enough that it lends itself to picking pieces and just finding their home, or at least recognizing where they go, saying, I don't have a spot for that yet, and putting it back in the box. That's probably the best way to describe what we did here. It is a 1,000-piece puzzle. It did take 7.5 hours, which honestly is right where I want a puzzle to be. It's that nice range where it's a couple days of sitting down and working away at it for 2-hour sessions, hour-and-a-half sessions, something like that. Let's review the puzzle. I'm going to review the puzzle in 4 different categories on a scale of 1 to 5. The first category is the puzzle material quality itself, the paperboard, and how the image was bonded to it. Ravensburger is pretty darn consistent. This is a recycled blue board material, and I'm going to give it a 3. The pieces are firm, they don't detract from the build at all. My only consistent complaint with Ravensburger's blue puzzle board is the amount of dust that gets left afterwards. I had one viewer suggest running the pieces through a sifter ahead of time. I have not done it yet. It probably would work well, but my inclination is, as you see in the video, just to unbox it and start building. It might be a little odd if afterwards I show up with my sifter and shake all the pieces through, but whatever. It's one of the quirks of the brand name and the material they use. Moving on, the puzzle cut quality and design. You know, how crisp is the cut? If you close your eyes, does the piece feel like it went to the right spot? Can the same piece fit in 10 different spots and it's hard to tell? This is a 3. It's average, right where it should be. Doesn't detract from it. At the same time, it's nothing, you know, spectacular. I've built a couple pieces. Shadow just ran across the screen. The cut quality again is average, right where it should be. Nothing more, nothing less. Difficulty. Well, at the 7.5 hour mark, I would call this average. For most of it I did by myself. Again, to me, an 8-hour build for a 1,000-piece puzzle would be my historic average over my lifetime, so I'm giving it a 3 for difficulty. None of the other previous factors detracted from it or made it more difficult, so right where it should be. Category number 4, frameability. The most subjective of all the categories, and this is just my personal opinion on the art. Is it something I would frame? Does it hang in a museum, or, you know, is it if I was the type of person that built a puzzle once and sealed it forever, would this make the list? Well, this is above average. This is definitely a 4. There is, you know, a high degree of creativity here, and obviously the skill required, just the aptitude to use the software at a level to create these images is probably beyond what most of us are capable of. Never mind the inspiration and the inspiration there, that creative spark that is behind just using the software to create this. So this is a 4. This is something that you can buy framed and hang it in your house. You know, depending on the theme of what you already have hanging at your place, this might be the perfect fit. Frankly, a den or a library, if you're a collector of books, I think this is something that would fit there quite nicely. Alright, overall, not quite a linear thing. I mean, in this case it will work out pretty much that way. I'm going to give it a 3. I would definitely build this puzzle again. The quality is pretty solid. The image is quite nice. I don't know that I would change my strategy at all if I built it again. I probably would build the owl and the monkey and the cat sooner in the process, as I realized it was kind of a missed opportunity building the puzzle. You know, later on I realized I should have plucked away at these pieces, and it would have built these little segments in there that would have made building the bookcase and the dark pieces simpler. So that's probably the one thing I will do differently if and when I build this one again. As we get to the end of the puzzle here, you will see me take the edges apart, put them in a little plastic baggie, and keep them sorted from the rest of the puzzle. No, that's not a cheat. That's just to save myself 20 minutes next time. I mean, I still have to build it all. I break all the pieces apart. I look at it as a little favor for the next person that builds this, or I loan this to, or even myself. You'll also see me put all the pieces in a large Ziploc bag within the box. Well, that's a lesson for some of us that when you own lots of puzzles and there is the chance that they tip or fall off a bookshelf or a regular shelf somewhere, you're going to want them securely tied together and not run the risk of intermixing pieces or losing one. That's nothing worse than taking a puzzle and putting it together a couple years later and just randomly there's a piece missing. Drat, I should have done something about this, and had I known, I probably wouldn't have built it again. What else can I tell you? Well, look up the artist. There's some really nice work there. I'm not into tarot cards per se, of any sort, but the artwork on them is impressive. Perhaps if he sold an individual painting that had them all laid out, I would want something like that. That's it for me today. I look forward to bringing you more videos in the near future, and I appreciate anyone that takes 10 minutes out of a day to watch one of these videos. That's it. Thanks.